A big part of the Chessvis openings preparation section is involving repertoires. And a repertoire is basically just the moves that you have decided you're going to make against opponent moves. And you've decided this ahead of time because, let's face it, the world has moved to playing faster games now, and you don't want to be spending a lot of time at the beginning trying to decide what to play at each move when you really want to save the time for the middle game. So while it's not the first item, let's start with the Repertoire Manager as the simplest screen in which to get into this whole area. Here is the set of repertoires that I have. They are specified as playing for a particular color. Here you can see I have several Goring Gambit ones for white. I have a couple of Sicilian Defense ones for black. The one you want to work on is highlighted or has the button on the right-hand side selected. So right now, the repertoire that I'm working on is the Smith-Morra Gambit from my coach. Down at the bottom, the 4 right-hand buttons, edit it to change the name, give it a description, change the color that it's for. Or you can add one, you can copy it. That's actually rather nice. You can make a duplicate of it and experiment or trim it down if you want to just focus on a particular line, and then you can delete it. The 2 buttons on the left side are the ones that are really interesting. Viewer gives you a bird's eye view of the overall structure of the repertoire. Let's go ahead and tap that. This is a bird's eye view of the Smith-Morra Gambit repertoire that I have. Looking at the different moves, you'll see some have a plus sign after them. This represents branching points within the repertoire. These are points within the repertoire where I have answers to multiple different moves that the opponent would make. If we tap on one of the plus signs, like for example, the one after C3, this will open up the different choices black can make after playing C3. From here, I can tap on different moves and even see comments that have been entered. Right and left arrows will enable me to step through the repertoire and just see how it plays out and go backwards. And again, there are other plus signs that show different options. So the whole point of the repertoire is to create a set of responses to different opponent moves and learn them ahead of time. In a moment, I'll show you how the builder screen and the viewer screen work together to help you really understand your repertoire structure. But for right now, I would like to just go back to the manager and bring up the builder directly. This looks very familiar if you saw the first video. It's in essence the exact same screen with one addition. There is a set of checkboxes on the right-hand side next to each move. These are moves that we're going to make. And for example, I will go ahead and play the E4 move. Since this is the Smith-Morra Gambit repertoire, in which is a response to the Sicilian defense, the check mark is by C5, in which means that I have created a response to the C5 move. And we'll go ahead and do that. And then here you can see that we have a checkbox by D4. And here the response is take and then push the pawn. At this point, you see that there are 3 check marks. That means that I have created responses to 3 different moves that my opponent could make. One move that has not been addressed has been knight to C6. And since that's above the line, that means it's part of the 80% of games. So that really should be addressed. As I said earlier, I wanted to show you how the builder and the viewer interact. And here we can tap viewer, and what it will do is it will drop this right into the viewer at that point that I had addressed in the builder. So this enables me to see exactly what I have done and what needs to be done. So let's go ahead and go back to the builder, and let's go ahead and add something for knight to c6. Chessvis remembers all the moves we make on the board and will add them to the repertoire. So let's go knight to c6, and we're going to go ahead and take the pawn. We'll go ahead and address the more popular moves. So that seems fair enough. Let's go back now and see what we have created. So now we're at this point where we were before, and we can see that there's now a knight to c6 checkmark. And again, we can pick these up, and we can add more and more to the repertoire. So right now we have a c6, but maybe we should add in a d5, and looks like the popular thing to do is to push. We can create repertoires of any depth. Go back. We could drop into the viewer, and we could see exactly where we are within the overall structure. I'm just trying to give you a quick overview, and we could also play with the master collection if we wanted to and see what types of counts there are for the master games. Also, we have access to the bar chart that we showed before. As I just want these videos to be short and give you enough to go in and play, I think I'll leave it at this. Thank you.